If you aren't getting enough applicants for your roles, or if your applicants just aren't relevant, stay watching this video and I will teach you how to make sure your job advert becomes unmissable. Hi, I'm Holly. For those of you who don't know me, I make videos just like this one to help you optimize your technology and get the most out of the software that you have available. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you stay up to date with my latest videos. You need a good job description, as it is one of the best ways to reach the perfect candidate and inspire them to submit their CV or resume and apply for your role. A bad job description can turn that perfect candidate away. It can make them feel overwhelmed and they will simply slide on past your job advert onto another one and they will never apply for that role. Here are the key things to make sure that your job advert is unmissable. Keep it short. Adverts with 150 words or less will get more applicants to that vacancy. Here is an example of a job advert that is just over 150 words. So it's short, it's relevant, and it really covers the main topics to get candidates applying. Number 2. Describe the company culture and the organisation. This is particularly important if you're a recruiter hiring for a third party. People want to know what it's like working in these businesses. Culture and the organisation and making sure that people's values align with these is more important than ever. So go into a few sentences about what the company culture and the organisation is like so your candidates can get the best insight possible. Number 3, include what does success look like. For example, after 3 months, you will be doing X, Y, and Z. After 6 months, you will be doing this or that, and you'll be line managing this many people. This is going to mean that candidates can have a bit more of an insight about the company, as we've just discussed, and will enable them to see a bit more about the inner workings of the job and what the day-to-day looks like. This also allows them to bring up some questions in interview, because they can ask more specific questions about the context around these points and what the role is going to be looking like. So make sure you include what does success look like. Number 4, keep the job title straightforward. Most job boards where you are writing jobs, especially something like LinkedIn or Indeed, has generic titles that you can use. Opt for one of these as the main title. This means that candidates will be paired up and will see your role when they search under those titles and for that criteria. Where possible, use the generic titles. You may at certain times have to edit them and you may want to abbreviate it within the or potentially expand it in the actual job description, but where possible, keep the generic title to attract more applicants. Number 4, detail the key responsibilities of that role. For example, work with cross-functional teams, produce the requirements, project management this task, project manage that task. It's just going to really allow your candidate to understand about what the job includes. I personally would suggest you do this with 3 to 4 bullet points. It's not got to be really long again, keep it short. 3 to 4 bullet points about the key responsibilities of that role. Number 6. Detail the qualifications and or skills needed. This is a maximum, I recommend, of 2 bullet points. You need to keep this short because people will not apply for your roles unless they have all of the skills. Women in particular will be put off and won't apply by job adverts if they don't have all the skills needed. Make sure when you include these skills and qualifications in the advert that they really are essential. If your vacancy does not need a university degree, do not include it. Make sure it includes the actual qualifications and skills that the candidate actually 110% needs for this role. Otherwise, it will really put people off and they won't apply. So make sure that you are succinct and accurate. Lastly, include the base salary or the day rate in the job description. Otherwise, people have got no idea if this is going to pay them £20,000 a year or £200,000 a year. So you don't have to go into a massive amount of detail about the package and bonuses, but please include the base salary or the day rate. I personally recommend doing this in the job description and anywhere else in the job application settings. make sure it's accurate as well. If you're a recruiter and your client has given you a range, e.g. 50 to 70, put that on there, but where possible, try to get a really specific figure from your client, align on that and include that in the job description. So that is how you write a good job description. I just want to speak briefly about the job advert settings. If you are posting a job on something like LinkedIn or Indeed or a job board, there are some other settings that you'll need to be aware of. You can often add skills to the job settings. Here is an example on LinkedIn. So make sure you do use this and put the relevant skills in. It is always recommended that you get the job applicants to apply via email, which is often via a link, or on the site where the job application is hosted. Don't start transferring candidates to your website, then here, then there. Keep the process as simple as you can to make sure that you don't lose candidates in the application process. If you are posting a job on something like LinkedIn, I highly recommend you add 1 to 2 screening questions. For example, how many years of experience is definitely needed? Do they have the relevant qualifications? You could even add one in there about location. This will just mean that you don't have people who are irrelevant applying for your roles. Sometimes you can also add your profile into the job post. Again, here's an example on LinkedIn. This will mean that people know who they're applying to and are much more likely to apply if they can see the person who is managing this role. And if they're really interested, it then means they've got your contact details so they can contact you in as well. And finally, as I mentioned earlier on, under these settings, make sure you add in the base salary or the day rate so you can get as many relevant applicants as possible. As you can see, these things aren't particularly challenging. You've just got to keep it succinct and focused upon what the job really, really involves so you can get the best possible applicants for your vacancies. I hope you found my tips and tricks on how to make your job advert unmissable really useful. If you have any further questions, just drop me a comment below and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with my latest videos and content. Thanks for watching.